In the last class yesterday, we were talking about Evans, who was eagerly desiring to have an academic qualification while being in the jail. And his request was granted by the controller or secretary of examinations, provided he had no cases of violence in his criminology, in his criminal background. He had only a problem that he was a congenital kleptomaniac by birth or by habit. He had the habit of stealing something. So there we have stopped. There the governor wanted to speak something, but he stopped. He withdrew his own thought. He withdrew his own words. Presumably, the secretary says, presumably, said the secretary, you can arrange a room where. So secretary says, okay, okay, I can understand your words. So do one thing, arrange a room for him as examination hall. So governor says, no problem. Room is not a problem. In jail, rooms are not a problem. He is in a cell on his own. He is kept in a particular cell in which there were nobody. If you have no objections, he can sit the exam in there. He can write the exam there. So the governor says Evans is kept in a single cellular jail. That cell is shared by that person only. So if the secretary permits, we can use his cell as the examination hall. Secretary, that is fine. Okay, no problem. We can use it. Governor. And we could easily get one of the parsons from St. Mary's Max to invigilate if that is not a problem for you. Clear now? So for the examinations, one invigilator is needed. So no police officer can be an invigilator. An invigilator should come from outside. So the governor suggests that we can get a priest. Parson means priest or a pastor. Parson is usually used for a Protestant priest. The word parson is used. So we can call a priest. That is why we have seen Reverend McCullery, isn't it? So that is a person. So we can call a parson from St. Mary's Max. That is the name of that convent where the parson is living. So to invigilate, if that is not a problem for the examination controller. By the way, I think all are preparing the exams, isn't it? Tomorrow we begin the unit test. The name is periodic test, but it is a unit of 25%, 20 to 25% of the portion. So all should take seriously. And 50% of the questions will be MCQ and 1 marks. That means questions can come from any part of the lesson. You may be thinking that word is simple, but that may be a question. So preparation is very much important. All should read the textbook. During these periodic tests and unit tests, it is a time to read the textbook. Please, please, please. Don't think about corona and all these things. You prepare yourself very well. These marks, even if the corona extends and anything happens, these marks will be counted. All our writing works will be counted this year also. Okay. So please note that all should be. There are many students without the videos, half of the 2 rows with the video, 3 rows without the videos. Please switch on. Should I tell every day this one? I I respect you as a respectful students. I respect you as my respectful students. And I feel bad to always remind you, switch on, switch on, switch on. Kindly not ask me to do to tell like that. Please switch on the video. Okay. And all these and another way, all these what I would say, classes are recorded and uploaded in the YouTube. Even my these words are going to YouTube now. So if the whole board is empty, and if I say it is an interactive class, what is the meaning of interactive class? The proof is there, it is not an interactive class. Am I right? Am I right? So we are become a dishonor to the same thing. I can understand one or two the here and there. There may be the problem of connectivity. I can understand that. I am not talking about each and every, but you should have a mind. Once the class is open, you have to be on switch on. I know there are 8, 9 students are there always with video. So don't do they have this problem of connectivity? Especially, I would appreciate Nandana, Achud, Punya, Adityaraj, and uh, Gayatri, Michael. All these people are always with video without saying. Without, from the very beginning, I noted Michael comes first, Achut comes there, Michael, Achut, Punya comes there, Nandana comes there, Aditya comes there. Don't they have the problem of connectivity? All are coming from various places. Michael is coming from Chalakudi, Pune is coming from near from Velangalur, Aditya is also coming from there, Gayatri is coming from Kodungalur, Nandana is coming from Puthamelikira. All these people are coming from far different corners. So don't do they have connectivity problem? Every day I see actually is coming from Mala in all the places, different places. They don't never they don't face the connectivity problem. Only very few people are making the reason connectivity problem. Don't make it so. It is not a real excuse. It is not a real excuse. It's +2 classes, even science and whatever be the subject. If you are open, the teacher will be active. You are making the teacher a teacher. Taking a PG degree and a B.Ed, I would say that person cannot be called, cannot become a teacher. It is my personal impression. You are the people, the students are making the teacher a teacher. If the teacher has no students, who will call her teacher? Mhm. If I don't have any students to teach, how can I call me a teacher? So you are the people who make the teacher a teacher. So even on the online classes, be with the teacher and make the teacher fully 100% a teacher so that you will get more experience, you will get more knowledge. Everything is there. Please abide by these words. Mhm. Please abide by these words. I should not speak like this to my children. You are very cute. You are science students. You are so loving students. So many of you had been with me for last, I would say 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, almost 6 years. You are. So the same. I know you very well. That is why I'm saying. I know you very well. Okay. So, fine. Yes. They seem to have a lot of parsons there, don't they? At St. Mary's Max, there are many parsons. So it is good, it is easy to get one parson to invigilate. The two men chuckled good naturedly. Both of them showed their agreement. Both of them showed their consent. And the secretary had a final thought. At last, he asked something. At least there is one thing, at least there is some provision. You shouldn't have much trouble keeping him incommunicado, should you? You see, exam is conducted in the jail. So the secretary of examinations agreed everything. You can have your room there. You can have your invigilator there. No problem. But one thing you have to take care. What is that? You shouldn't have much trouble keeping him incommunicado, should you? That means incommunicado is a Latin word, communication. So communicado means communication. Incommunicado means without communication. Without communication. Without communication. So that means he should not have any communication with anybody during the exam. He should not make any communication. That means invigilator should be very strict in the exam during the exams. The governor chuckled politely once more. He consented, reiterated that there will be no problem in the matter of communication. His thanks and slowly cradled the phone, kept the phone on the receiver. Evans. And he thought about Evans. Evans the break. So his third name, first is Evans, James Evans. Second name's James Roderick Evans. Now the governor calls him with a nickname. He recollects Evans the break. Evans the one who breaks the jail. That's the meaning. Evans, one who breaks the jail or one who escapes from the jail. That's the meaning. So, Evans the break, as the prison officers called him, because, because, because thrice he had escaped from prison. That is why this name was given to him. But for the recent wave of unrest, but for the recent arrest, but during these recent cases, wave of unrest, recent cases in the maximum security establishments up north. So, because he had escaped from the jail 3 times, so everybody knows that he is a villain. He is a clever criminal. So this time, well tight security was given to him in the north wing of the jail prison. He wouldn't now be gracing the governor's premises in Oxford. He wouldn't now be gracing the governor's premises in Oxford. What is the meaning? He wouldn't be gracing. As a criminal, what will be a grace for him? to free himself from the jail. Am I right? That is the grace. Clear now? As a criminal, as a prisoner, what is the grace for him? Free from the jail. There are two chances. There are two methods to make a prisoner free from the jail. One thing, the duration of his punishment should be over. He is imprisoned for 5 years. After 5 years, he will become free. That is one choice. Second choice, during the time of his prisonship, he has to break the jail and he has to save himself. These two incidents are the grazing events for events. Clear now? So here, you see, there is tight security for him in the jail so that he should not break the jail for the fourth time. He had already done 3 times. So he should not, this time he should not break the jail. That is why tight security was given to him. So says that this time, at any cost, the jail will not be a grace for him. That means he will not be able to break the jail. Clear now? And the governor was going to make absolutely certain that he wouldn't be disgracing them. You see, grazing, disgracing. A coin has two sides, head and tail. You can see only one side. If there is a head, there is a tail. So, if the prisoner breaks the jail and saves himself, it is a grace for it is a grace for Michael. It is a grace for the if the prisoner breaks the jail and saves himself from the jail, that act will be a grace for. Sorry, I told the answer. It was a grace for the prisoner. Clear now? Because he is happy, he is free. At the same time, it is a disgrace for Nevin. It is a disgrace for voice. Your mic.
Disgrace for the guard.
Disgrace for the officers because officers were helpless, unable to keep him. Clear now? That is why you see the governor was very keen. He was giving his personal attention to him so that he should not make a disgrace to the officers. That means Evans was under tight security in the jail this time. Not that Evans was a real burden, just a persistent, nagging presence. You see, governor himself had made a comment about him. He is not of a violent type. He is a simple criminal. He is a kleptomaniac by birth, habitually kleptomaniac. He doesn't do any crime. So it is not a problem. Evans was not a problem to the prison officers. But the thing is that why do these people are very careful about him? Because it is his habit to break the jail and save himself. Again, the police officers have to run after him and catch him and bring him again. So again, his punishment duration period is increasing, breaking the jail another period. So always he has become a nuisance for the police officers. You see, sometimes in certain classes, not in your class, certain lower classes and all these things, maybe in class 4, 5, 6 classes, classes, there will be some children. They are very innocent. They are very innocent. But always there will be a disturbance in the class. Clear now? They may be running in the class. They may be always talking in the class, but basically they are very innocent. No problem. No problem with them. They won't do any mischievous activities, nothing. But only the thing is that they will talk in between during the time of class. So it becomes an irritation for the teacher. Sometimes when the teacher is taking the class, they may get up from their seat and they may run in the class. Maybe in the classes 5 or 6 or 4, 5, 6 classes. You see, basically he is not a problem. Basically, he is not a problematic child. But by nature, he is what we people say, piri 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 piri. Always, this is piri piri piri, like spring type. Like this here, our Evans is not a major problem. He doesn't make any kind of violence. He doesn't make any kind of violence. But the thing is that always his presence is there. He may have 3 years period duration of the punishment. After 3 years, he goes out and he makes another theft, robbery, and he comes again after 3 days. So he has become a permanent presence in the jail. Permanent presence in the jail. That is all. That's all. That's all. You see, not that Evans was a real burden, just a persistent, nagging presence. He would be all right in Oxford, though this time his jail is changed, and in Oxford, HM prison, he will be all right. And the governor would see to that. The governor has decided to look into his matter personally and would see to it personally. And besides, there was just a possibility that Evans was genuinely interested in O-level German. So, because this time he will be quite all right. It is the thought of the governor. You see, governor thinks we have kept him in North Wing prison, and a single cell is given to him, and he is under tight security. So governor says this time he will not make any problem. Secondly, the boy is now trying to get an academic qualification. He is motivated to study, not like you people, and not like you people. He is motivated. He attends a tuition every day, Sharon. Our Evans is attending the classes every day without any break. So governor thinks that this time there will be no problem. He will not run away because he is trying to write O-level exam. So he has become a very good educated fellow. So there are lesser chances that he would break the jail. Clear now? Okay. Just a slight possibility, but congenital kleptomaniac. We cannot say what will happen at any moment. Anything can happen at any moment because basically he is a congenital kleptomaniac. Such kind of habit will not be erased all on a sudden. It is a gradual process. Counseling is needed. Counseling is needed. So we cannot make it sure 100% that he would be all right with this. But there are certain chances because we have given tight security to him. Secondly, He is motivated to write an examination. So he is become gentle. So there is a chance that would be he would be safe. He would not, better to say, he would not disgrace HM prison officers. Clear now? So the governor, the prison officer, consoles himself, thinking that these two situations are there. What are the two situations? One is, one is he had a great tight security in the jail. Secondly, the prisoner is intending to have an academic qualification by writing the examination O level in German. So these two activities will make him a polite gentleman. So there is lesser chance for him to break the jail. Thus, he will not. Thus, the governor thinks that Evans this time will not disgrace the jail officers. Clear now? Okay, clear? Very clear, I think so. At 8:30 p.m. on Monday, 7th June, underline that date. You have to underline time also. 8 here, the time is very important in this lesson. 8:30 a.m. Monday, 7 June, a very Evans German teacher took him this PM night after the tuition. After the tuition, his German tutor shook him by the hand in the heavily guarded recreational block. Underline recreational block. His block is recreational block. Heavily guarded, tight security, heavily protected recreational block just across from Deeving. After Deeving, there is recreational block. There is events. Good hand luck for events. Good hand luck. Good luck. That is German. You can study German. Good luck. Her events. Her events. Her is a non-lexical word there. Pardon? The one who is going to write the examination tomorrow doesn't understand the meaning. It's a clue to you. It is a clue to you. This is a clue to the story. Tomorrow he is going to write O-level examination in German. And that student doesn't understand the word meaning of Guten Glück. Good morning. Sorry, good luck. He doesn't understand. That means I give you a clue. This tutor and Evans were talking some other thing other than German. It was not a German tuition, some other tuition. Clear now? Clear now? So with this idea, these are the clues when you those who wish to study uh, criminology and all these things. Anybody is there to go for criminology, forensic and criminology? Anybody? So such kind of people, criminology and forensic, BSc criminology, forensic, and they will become uh, um, IPS officers, DAG, IG of crimes and all, CBI and all these things. Anybody wants to become? Such people should understand how to read these kind of things. When you get such kind of things, you will get a clue. You see, tomorrow he is going to write O-level examination. That student doesn't understand the meaning of the word guten Glück. Pardon? I said, my dear Mandan, I said you good luck. Don't you understand? You are going to write the public examination +2 English, and if you don't know the alphabet ABCD, the same thing. The same thing. I said, good luck. Good luck for tomorrow. Underline for tomorrow. It has a connotation. You will understand the connotation later. Good luck for tomorrow. Can you imagine what would be that? Okay, you imagine. Okay. Oh, thanks. Here, again, non lexical. I mean, danke schon. Again, German. Thank you. Danke schon. So you can tell to others also. Danke schon. Thank you. You can tell me. Danke schon. Before the exams, you can say, instead of good luck, guten Glück. Aditya, guten Glück. Ah, guten Glück. What a man you are. Michael, guten Glück. Danke schon. Ah, thank you. Isn't it? Danke schon. Danke schon. These are the way we have to learn a new thing. We have studied one communication here. Guten Glück. Thank you, sir. And if somebody is hearing from outside, oh, they may hear, oh, these people are speaking some other language. Oh, we have only two words we know. And others will be thinking that we know German very well, isn't it? Take the advantage of this time. Gauri, take the advantage of the time. With the four words, you can become an intellectual, well communicating German student with the four words. Clear now? Okay, 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 okay. You haven't a cat in hell's chance of getting through. The clue is coming here. You haven't a cat in hell's chance of getting through. You have a very little possibility in coming out of it. That is the meaning. You have a little possibility, very little chance in coming out of it. Of course, but is there? But try your best. But try your best. I may surprise everybody. Evans is talking to you. It should be your answer. I may surprise everybody. When my plus two result comes, I may surprise everybody. Here now, you should choose the suitable sentences from these lessons. I may surprise tomorrow, said Evans. At 8:30 the following morning, so right there, 8:30 a.m. Tuesday, 8th June, right there, 8:30 a.m. Tuesday, 8th June, underline. Evans had a visitor. In the morning, he had a visitor. Not a visitor, but two visitors. Not one, but two visitors. In fact, he tucked his grubby string vest into his equally grubby trousers. He tightened his dress. He tightened his dress or settled his dress and stood up from his his cell. He got up. He was sitting there, seeing the two guests. He got up from his bunk, smiling cheerfully, said, "Good morning, Mr. Jackson. This is indeed an honor." You see, good morning, wishing even Evans, a prisoner, wishes his jail officer. He said, "Good morning. It is a great pleasure for me that my jail officer, prison officer, had come to me to wish." Jackson was the senior prison officer on leaving that we have seen in the first page. And he and Evans had already become warm enemies. They are enemies. At Jackson's side stood Officer Stephens. That is the second person, underline. Jackson and Officer Stephens came over there. How was Stephens? A burly, surly looking man, a very physically uh, fatty man, a muscle man, a strong, physically strong officer. Mentally, in a way, we can say a bad tempered man. Here it is a muscle, a physically a strong man, a burly, surly looking man, only recently recruited to the profession. He is a new recruitment. Jackson nodded curtly because he wished him good morning. So he nodded. And how is our little Einstein this morning? How are you, man, little Einstein? So he is calling him Einstein because he is going to write the exam. Intelligent fellow who is trying to get an academic qualification now. Wasn't he a mathematician, Mr. Jackson? Another question to him. I think he was a Jew, underline. He was a Jew, Mr. Jackson. Why it is called he was a Jew? He was a Jew. There are two meanings. One is basis on racism, basis of racial distinction. Racism. Germans hate Jews. Germans hate Jews. So it can be a word of contempt. It can be a word of contempt. He is a Jew. They don't like him. It can be. But here it is not contempt. It is another view. I told you two views. One, since it is because Hitler killed all the Jews because of the racist rationalism, rationalistic thoughts. He thought that Germans are the pure blood people. Jews should not come and mix the blood. That is why he killed. Clear? That is why I told there is a chance of racialism. But here in this text, it is not racialism. Because previous sentence tells that is he a mathematician? Is he an Einstein? So the third sentence comes together with that. Jews are considered to be very intelligent people in the world. The word Jew is a synonym for intelligence. The word Jew is a synonym for intelligence. So that is why I told this is a continuation of the comment. Is he an Einstein? Is he a mathematician? Is he a Jew? Oh, he is a very intelligent person. He is going to get an all-level examination in German. Ivan's face was unshaven, and he wore a filthy looking red and white bobble hat upon his head. Underline, filthy looking red and white bobble hat, a particular type of hat he was wearing. So his attire was not so attractive. He had not shaved his face. So he says, give me a chance, sir. Give me a chance, Mr. Jackson. I was just going to shave when you burst in. Two things. Give me a chance, sir. I will prove that I am Einstein. I will prove that I am mathematician. I will prove I am a Jew. I will prove that I am an intelligent fellow. I am a clever fellow. Give me a chance, one more chance. There are some people when they come for admission plus one or something like that, they might have got lesser marks in 10th, and they may be asking, I want mass computer, I want biomass, and all these things. So I would say this much mark is there. How can you learn biomass and all these things? You will be struggling in the classes. Sir, give me a chance. I will prove it, sir. Give me a chance. I will prove it in plus two. Like that here, he says, Mr. Jackson, give me a chance. I will prove I am Einstein. I will prove I am a mathematician. I will prove I am a Jew. Then second thought, I was just going to shave. I was just going to shave. At that time, you came in. At that time, you bust in. At that time, you came in. Which reminds me, Jackson turned his eyes on Stephens. He was planning to tell some comment on. Make sure you take his razor out of the cell when he has finished scraping that ugly mug of his ugly face. Clear? So here we see that Mr. Stephens, a newly recruited prison officer, is going to be in charge of his cell during the time of examination. So Mr. Jackson brought him to introduce this prisoner. That is why Jackson says, Mr. Stephens, take care of him. Just after his shave, remove the blade from the cell. Otherwise, he will create a problem with that blade. We cannot trust him. We cannot trust him. One of these days, he will do us all a favor and cut his bloody throat. That is indirect meaning. One of in the coming days, if you don't take the blade, what will happen in the coming days? He will put us into trouble. He will put us into trouble. How? He will use that blade and cut his throat. And what will happen? The prisoner is dead in the cell. Who will be responsible for that? The prison officers will be responsible for that. So he will misuse, that's the meaning. He will misuse the blade and he will put us in trouble. The indirect meaning is that he may use that blade for some other purpose, for the purpose of saving himself from the jail. For example, he may cut his body and he has to be taken to the hospital. And from there, he will find out, escape. Clear? That is why it is told. When he has finished scraping that ugly mug of his, clear? Clear means, do you understand? One of these days, he will do us all a favor and cut his bloody throat. For a few seconds, Evans looked thoughtfully at the man standing rumrod straight in front of him, a string of Second World War medals proudly paraded over his left breast pocket. You see, after this comment, Evans looked at the newly recruited prison officer, that is Stephens. What did he think? He thought him like a rumrod. Rumrod. What is rumrod? Rumrod is a code word used in World War II. Rumrod is a code word used in World War II for a short range bombers. For a short range bombers, the code word is used Ramrod, nobody understands. So that means Ramrod is a synonym for attacker. Clear now? Ramrod is a synonym for sudden attacker. So he looked at Stephens and he saw a long row of medals on his chest. That means he was a well efficient officer. And to save himself from the hands of such an officer is very difficult. That means Evans assessed, assessed the officer. Okay. The rest we will see in the next class. Okay. Thank you. I end the meeting.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, welcome.